The UK has already sent hefty consignments of weapons to Ukraine, including more than 10,000 anti-tank missiles, and these have proved effective against Russian armour. The Ukrainians have also used US Stinger missiles to take down enemy aircraft. What's needed now is a way of countering the Russian artillery threat, the relentless shelling of cities like Mariupol and Kharkiv. So what can we give them? Well, the UK has the AS-90, but it's complex and nearing the end of its life, and you have to get it there. So what would work?
The main thing here is from the US, where they're supplying two different models of the Switchblade drone, which is brand new in service as an anti-personnel variant that goes out 6 or 7 kilometers. And then there's a longer range loitering munition with a javelin warhead, essentially. So it's effectively a javelin flying on a drone. And that can reach out a lot further. And that's the sort of thing that would be more effective against those Russian targets in depth, artillery, and so on. And that gives at this point, predominantly infantry-based, handheld Ukrainian force a bit more reach. The big strategic context is effectively that we thought that by now Ukraine would be fighting an insurgency. And actually, they're still fighting a conventional conflict, but we've equipped them for an insurgency. So we haven't sent them enough of the right equipment. We're now moving towards equipping them for warfighting, probably at just the time they're not going to have any fuel to be able to actually operate anything we send anyway, which is the Russian intent at the moment, hence the strikes on Odessa, hence the attack on the oil refinery in Kremenchuk to stop Ukraine from being able to move its forces around. So, we've got a real bind as to what we actually send, because heavier equipment, and we're talking about BMP-1 variants, for example, ex-German ones being passed on. By the time it gets them, it might be too late and not able to be used. So again, that's the real challenge in this area, and that's where these sort of more infantry-based solutions are more likely to work.
Now, Ukraine's Air Force flies the Russian-made Su-27, which is fast but lacks modern countermeasures. Against it, Russia has this, the formidable S-400 air defence system, which can hit aircraft 150 kilometres away. To try and level things up, the UK sent Starstreak to Ukraine, a short-range missile that's used against low-flying aircraft and helicopters. And footage has already emerged, reportedly showing it being used to shoot down a Russian helicopter. Now, Ben Wallace says the UK will also help Ukraine protect its coastline, cities like Odessa, from Russian warships and amphibious assault. The UK actually signed a £1.7 billion deal to supply Ukraine with minehunters and naval weaponry last year. But getting it there, well, that's difficult. So what might work? Well, mining the coastline would hamper any Russian landing, but the Ukrainians might also take a leaf out of the Iranian playbook and use these small gunboats to harass the Russians at sea.
The logic here, if you can turn any single fast boat that you can find around the port into the maritime version of your Toyota pickup for any insurgent fighting a war, that's already a very important consideration to make, right? Being able to deploy on a fast little tiny craft a bit of RPG or anything that would make it a lot harder for the Russians, to target these assets, as well as to have the serenity, if you want, to plan an amphibious operation. That is already a win.
So what else might the UK send? Well, we could see protected vehicles like the Foxhound going, or some of the other Afghan-era troop carriers. The complications with all of this, of course, are spares, fuel and servicing. There is an argument that it would be better to simply source Russian-made weaponry like T-72 tanks, systems the Ukrainians have experience of, but much of that is very old and no real match for current Russian armour. The MOD, unsurprisingly, is remaining tight-lipped about what it's actually sending. And in this world of social media and war by video, the first we may know is when footage surfaces showing them in use on the front line. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.